Bonjour à tous et bienvenue en cette deuxième journée de DevFest. J'espère que vous avez profité du premier comme il fallait pour ceux qui étaient là hier et bienvenue pour tous les autres. Alors en ce matin, je vais vous demander un petit effort dès le début, c'est-à-dire que je vais switch in English because the first talk will be in English. I think we all have been facing in our life some incident in production, waking up at night from our sleep, and Hila Fish here will help us to navigate through the chaos. So please welcome Hila Fish.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this great morning, in this awesome conference. Thank you, organizers. I see Jeff here, so awesome conference. And I'm happy to be here. And this talk will be about navigating the chaos. So we have production incidents. It's not, I hope that you know, and I assume that you know because you're here, that not only DevOps engineers or infrastructure engineers or cloud engineers or whatever you call them are the one to manage the incidents. Also developers and everyone that really touches production in a sense should know how to manage incidents in production. So when I was in high school, the common belief was that if you actively listen in class, you'll have 50% of the exam prep already in your pocket. And I want to show you how I adopted this belief to an actual approach that you can take in order to help you come prepared for incidents. And I will show you the agenda in a bit. But first of all, hi, my name is Hila Fish. I'm a senior DevOps engineer, and I work for Wix, which is a company that provides a platform for building websites. I live in Israel. Very challenging times for me. If you want to talk about it, I'm here. You can talk about it. I'm going to be here throughout the conference. Happy to talk about it. And the most important thing for you to know about me in regards to this presentation is that I have almost 16 years in the tech industry, which means I've seen a lot of production incidents. When I was on call, when I wasn't on call, and I still had to deal with it, startups, enterprises, you name it. So I've seen a lot of incidents, and that's why I'm here to share my knowledge and my suffering through the blood, sweat, and tears that I had to face with incidents. So the agenda for today is cover the mindset that you should have, a business mindset that you should have in order to manage incidents in production, have an incident flow because you can have a structured process when you come to deal with incidents, some on-call traits that you should have in order to be a better incident manager and how to improve them, and how can we be proactive both after an incident took place and in our day-to-day in order to come prepared for incidents. So first of all, let's set like this baseline here. What is incident management? It's a set of procedures and actions taken to resolve critical incidents, which basically means it is an end-to-end process that defines how incidents are detected and communicated, who is responsible to handle them, what tools are used to investigate and respond to them, and what steps are taken towards resolution. And the thing about here is that we need to remember that not all pages that we get through PagerDuty or OpsDuty is considered to be an incident. When is it incident? When there's a loss or potential loss for the company in revenues, customers, data, and reputation. And if we will stay in an ad hoc kind of a putting out files kind of thing, and we don't have a structured process to manage incidents, then we could potentially lose valuable data. Downtime could lead to reduced productivity and revenues, and the business could be held liable to breach of service level agreements. All companies have like 9 nines, 11 nines that are, they obligate with their clients to be less downtime in that sense. So we have to have this structure, and we don't need to have this putting out fire ad hoc approach. We need to have a structured process. So for that, in order to really come prepared for incidents and manage them efficiently, we need to have business mindset. First of all, it means that you shouldn't think only about your systems. You need to understand the why. Why are we doing things in a certain way? Why are we having this system? Why it needs to run in this manner or another? If we know the why, then it will help us know why are we doing things in a certain way, and make sure things are handled as quickly as possible for the sake of the business. So basically, business mindset is needed in order to grasp the overall impact of incidents and mitigate damages. And I would say that the number one rule of managing incidents and to be a great engineer in general is to know that everything fails. All the time. Everything, like production systems, the things that we build, the things that we buy, the systems that we rely on to know that production is down, our monitoring systems, they could always also be down. Even us as human beings, we fail because we need to go to sleep. We crash, we need to restart ourselves. Everything fails all the time. By the way, who said this sentence? Me, okay? Throughout my career, but I think it is a bit odd to quote myself. So hey, I found AWS CTO Werner Vogel, he said it too, so take his word for it. So everything fails, and that's why we should be prepared and say, okay, something happened, but I'm prepared to deal with it because I knew it could potentially happen one way or another. So structured process is just, there's such a thing. I mean, like incidents are mayhem by nature. How can it be a structured process? So it could be structured process, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And structured process can lead to incidents prevention. It could lead to improved mean time to resolution, and also for cost reduction because downtime was reduced or eliminated entirely, and to, of course, also preserve our business customers and reputation. So this is the structure that I'm talking about. I took this specific reference from a site called OnPage, but actually I followed this structure throughout my entire career. There are 5 pillars. And we will go over each one, and each one I'm going to show you questions that you should answer, and then each questions will help you continue to the next phase. So the pillars here are identify and categorize, notify and escalate, investigate and diagnose, resolve and recovery, and also upon incident closure, there are still things to do in order to really fully finish handling the issue. But first of all, just want to share with you that throughout my career, I met 2 types of people and how they react during incidents. So one type was like, keep calm, I'm an engineer. But then another type was, I can't keep calm, I'm an engineer. So these are the 2 types I met throughout my entire career, and I say that you can keep calm if you ask yourself the questions that I'm gonna share with you here, and then it will help you be relaxed, reduce stress levels, and manage the incident much more quickly and to faster resolution. So, first pillar, identify and categorize. First question is, do I understand the full extent of the problem and the business impact? If so, great, we can dive right in. But if not, we need to gather more information. Because the fact that you have an alert doesn't mean that you know what's going on. Not sure you know the effect, the impact on production, on business in entirety, so you should know what's going on. Next question is, can this wait and be handled in business hours? Because again, not all pages that you get are incidents. Maybe it's something minor and you can wait with it for business hours. If you are not sure, ask, use the information that you have, and escalate if needed. And was I notified about this issue from the proper or expected channels? AKA, if I got an alert from PagerDuty, Opsgenie, whatever, great. If I got it from a user complaint, bad. So we need to know how we got to learn about this issue, and if we got to learn about it from users' complaints, then we should add like a note to self to fix it, aka create a Jira ticket later on to make sure we know about it upfront. Next pillar, notify and escalate. Who should be notified about this incident? So we have 2 paths here, during the incident and in general. During the incident is, you need to decide based on incident importance, meaning that if the incident is critical, then you probably should communicate to any teams that communicate things to the customers, like customer engineers, customer success, and they need to communicate to the customers that something is going on and we are taking care of it. The other path is for people, internal clients, let's say, that rely on the systems that is currently is in disruption, and they need the system to be healthy for their flows. So any internal systems, so we should notify them, hey, your flow is going to be compromised at the moment because the system is down. So that's about that. Another question is, does this incident need any escalation? So maybe I checked my sort of things, I see that it's not in my side, I need to ask for DBA's help, so I need to escalate for DBA to help me to fix it from the DB side. Or, as I said, support the customer-facing teams for FYI. Hey, we know about this issue. We will let you know as soon as it is being finished. Second, next pillar is investigate and diagnose. So we need to understand what information is relevant towards incident resolution. You might think it is straightforward, but I've seen, and I'll keep the story for later on, but not a lot of people focus on what's important right now. When they do escalation, they explain the entire flow, and the people that want to help you doesn't care about the entire flow. They just want to know what's currently is broken and needs to be fixed. So you should always focus on what's relevant right now, because focusing on the non-relevant will throw you off route and make you lose valuable time during debugging. So that's about that. And also remember that a lot of the times, the systems that you manage is comprised from a lot of parts. And you need to focus on the relevant phase for debugging and escalation. OK, I checked. I did some debugging, investigated. Great. Now, did I find the root cause? And if so, did I understand the root cause? If so, great. We can continue, and we can think about possible remediation steps that can be determined. But if not, we need to investigate some more and escalate if it takes long. And why? We will get to a part of what do you do when you're stuck later on in the presentation. And we also need to prioritize root causes over surface-level symptoms. Meaning, if I have an alert that the service on a server got crashed, I'm not just gonna go start the service and that's it. I need to investigate why the service got stopped in the first place, because it could potentially expose underlying issues. Fourth pillar, resolve and recovery. So we investigated, we know the root cause, we maybe have a couple of possible remediation steps that can be taken. Which one is the way to go? We need to choose the fastest solution to eliminate downtime without compromising systems' health and stability. Why fast? First of all, we want to go back to sleep. But also, we want to do what's best for the business, meaning we want to have the service up and running as soon as possible. But we need to also think about any action items that are needed after resolving the issue. So if it was in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., we decided on a fix, because you're not going to put your developers to create a full-blown solution at the middle of the night. A fix could be done. If all stakeholders said that, great, this is a reasonable thing for now, during business hours, you need to permanently fix it. You don't want to have Band-Aid in production. You want to have a permanent solution. And we want to make sure that preventing a recurring issue is a priority, because, again, you don't want to wake up again to fix the same issue over and over again. You will have burnout, and it's not good for the company. And also, you want the systems to be stable, for the business to not waste any more money or resources on fixing this issue over and over again. And last but not least, upon incident closure, you have things to do. So did I notify people whenever the incident got closed? So the same people that I notified at the beginning, I need to notify them at the end, like, hey, the issue should be now fixed. Please check on your side. Maybe you still see some issues. Let us know if so. We need to be end-to-end communicators and communicate that everything should be back to normal now. Check the alerts that you got. Are the alerts okay, or they need some tweaking? Like maybe you need to change alert severity, or fix false positive, or tweak in any other way. This is the time to do it. Check relevant incident runbooks if they are in place. So incident runbooks are basically like the processes that you have when managing an incident is a bit, let's say, requires some judgment. So if I saw in the logs, this happens, I need to do X, but if the logs show this as and coupled to something that shows in Grafana that is Y, then I need to do something else, for example. So if it's something that is more complex and requires judgment, you should have an incident runbook in place that explains all the steps that needs to be taken. So make sure there is a runbook, and if there's not a runbook, create one. And if there is a runbook, make sure it is up to date, because I had these cases where the runbook helped me until a certain point, and then it was no longer relevant. So make sure it is up to date, because you don't want to be stuck in the middle of the night, waking other people up to ask what you need to do now, and waste some more time during the incident. Can I help prevent similar or any incidents from occurring? Maybe during the investigation of the incident, I found out that the log rotate on the server doesn't work, and then I can fix it and then prevent issues from having the disk space full on the server. So this is one example, but anything that comes to mind whenever you manage an incident, it could help potentially solve and prevent the next incident from happening. And does this incident requires a post-mortem? So post-mortem, if you're don't know what it is, whenever there's a critical incident in place, then we need to have a post-mortem meeting that should be learn culture and not blame culture, okay? This is very, very important. And we understand what needs to be done later. Like we understand the root cause, we think what could we have done better, etc. So if this incident requires a post-mortem, great. Jot down the notes as soon as possible while it is still fresh in your mind, because that way we will have a more effective meeting because we have all the details in place. And even if you don't need a postmortem meeting, still share the knowledge through a runbook, through a daily brief. People can learn from your line of thought. They can learn about the system flows, so it is a win-win for everyone. And let's discuss a bit about war room conduct. War room is when you have a critical incident that requires, let's say, cross-functional teams and usually more than 4 or 5 people to handle one incident. And then it could be hectic. And I want to share with you a story about that. So when I started out in my previous company, I was 1 month in. Not my previous company, like during COVID times. And there was a critical incident in the cloud provider that we used. And then war room was created in Zoom, of course. So I joined the Zoom. Of course, I put myself on mute. I just wanted to be a fly on the wall and learn, because I knew what can I help there. And then they started talking about the incident. So he talked and talked, and she talked, and everyone pulled to different directions and talked about what they know and what they care about, or things that are not necessarily relevant for the incident resolution. And then I checked on the clock, and I saw that it's like 10 or 12 minutes in, and nothing happens, nothing progress towards resolution. And then I unmuted myself and I said, "Hi, everyone. My name is Hila. I'm not sure that everyone here knows me, but that was a good save. But I gotta intervene here and help you progress the incident towards resolution, because I feel like we're a bit stuck." And basically, I took upon myself the role of being an incident manager. So an incident manager is someone that divides the work, tell people what to do. They should be calm and collected and see things clearly, and also not afraid to reduce people's involvement if it doesn't serve the purpose. So from the things that I heard from this story, he said that once the incident gets resolved, the application needs to be started in a certain order in order for it to work properly. And then I asked, "Do you have a runbook for that?" "No." "Please write a runbook." Why? Because if the incident will get resolved in 2 hours, and this person just, I don't know, went to sleep or whatever, we can't wait for them to fix the issue. We need to start it. So we have to have a runbook that nobody, no matter who tries to fix the issue, they know what to do. So you write a runbook to help us know how to start the application. You did this, you did that, and basically, once I started with this, then the incident really got progressed towards a resolution. And so that's about that. And the fact about too many people, it could get noisy. Some people get stressed when it is like in office times, and they sit and people just stand above them and like, "What are you doing?" And people get stressed and it's not nice. So if people shouldn't be there, the incident manager should say, "Okay, did you finish what you needed to do? Great, thank you so much, now go away." Okay, that's it. I will call you back if we need you again. Thanks. So this is about war room conduct. Okay, now I'm gonna share with you 10 necessary qualities for being an incident manager. Of course, there are much more than 10, but these ones are the ones that I feel that are the most important, and I also have some tips to help you improve on these characters. So first of all, you need to think on your feet. Be an impromptu action taker. Because sometimes the incident that you have is something in territory that you know, like something that you dealt with, and sometimes it is in an uncharted territory, maybe something that your team member did. So you need to think on your feet and be ready for anything. Easy to say, right? I have a way for you to practice it. So if you have brainstorming sessions at work, it could help with improving this muscle of thinking on your feet, because what is brainstorming? He said this reminds you of that. So these kind of ping-pong scenarios really helps with this muscle of thinking on your feet. So if you practice that, I'm sure that during real time, you will see that it will be easier for you to think on your feet and think about what is the next step. Next, I said it before, I'm going to say it now because really I faced a lot of things in a lot of incidents where people just talked and talked and talked about stuff that is not related to the incident whatsoever. And really, I'm like, but it's not relevant, it's not relevant. So I really feel that it is something that is important to emphasize here. Differentiate relevant and non-relevant information. And how do you do that? By learning system flows. So the more you know how a system works, the more your ability to separate the relevant from the non-relevant information increases. Operate under pressure. Another story for you. I was in another company, my previous company, that it was before COVID, and I was again new at the company. I don't know why things keep on happening when I'm still new in the, I don't know. It always happens when I'm new at the office and at the job. So I was new, it was my first on-call shift, and I got like this big incident, 200 alerts on pager duty. And then I'm looking at screens, I'm like doing just a sanity check, like 1 minute, 2 minutes to make sure that I'm on top of things, and then I called my buddy to help me out. And he was 2 years in the team. So he sat next to me, and I'm talking to him, but I'm looking at the screens like, oh, yeah, I did this and checked this, explain like 20 seconds, okay, and I'm not sure what to do next. What do I do now? Crickets, silence, nothing. I look at him, and he's looking on my two screens, and he's like, oh my God, so many alerts, so many alerts. He was shocked. He was totally shocked. And then I'm like, dude, snap out of it. It doesn't help anyone. We need to do something, right? And he was 2 years in. So this is a true story. And it happens. People sometimes, they see a lot of incidents. They get stressed. And it is something that doesn't help us solve the issue. So what can we do about it? So first of all, we need to understand that stress is a symptom of being out of control, right? So what can we do about it is to collect relevant information. Everything goes back to have relevant information. And collection of relevant data will help you decrease stress levels, because when you know what to do, you are in control. And gather information, it will help you with debugging and also to set things in motion and relieve pressure levels. Because once you start doing things, then you forget about your stress and you're in the midst of doing things. So it will help with that. Work methodical. It will help with faster incident resolution, because as we know, time is of the essence and there is pressure to solve things fast. So methodical work will help you gain faster incident resolution. How do we work methodical? I just showed you the structure process like a couple of slides ago, right? Follow this. I'm sure it will be bound to help you work methodical and progress towards this method. Okay, this is the part where I told you before that I really, really like. If you are stuck and you don't know what to do about incidents, please ask for help, okay? It is not your time to shine. Why? Because it means that you don't really care about the company's good interest. So it's okay not to know, not know what to do and not know how to fix an issue on your own, because you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, and that's okay. And we need to remember that we have a lot of opportunities at work to prove yourself on your day-to-day. So the best way to prove yourself during incidents is to take a step back and escalate if you don't know what to do. This will show that you have the business interest in heart. You care about the business not suffering from more downtime than it should. So don't let your team member be the one that says, I got it, and they have no idea what to do. If you are lost, if you don't know what to do, escalate, ask for help, it will help. And some people have a hard time asking for help. I know because I had some team members before. So the thing that I always tell them is to make a habit out of it. So let's say you have a task at work, 5-10 minutes in, and you're not sure what to check or what to do. Ask your team members for help. Ask your team leader for help. Even if you know what to do, if you have a lead, still ask for help. Again, it's all about training our muscles and training our habits. It will help you in real time during an incident to be much more lenient towards asking for help. Problem solver, do whatever is needed. So I had times where people escalated incidents to me, and I'm like, I'm not sure, but I think we should check this, I think we should check that. And then the person that escalated the issue to me said, I don't feel like it's related. It doesn't feel that it's related. Because I didn't know feelings has something to do with it, but okay, nice. But that's the thing. You escalate it to me, you ask for help, I'm trying to help, and if you don't have a stronger lead, so let's do something and not just debate, right? So you should have a can-do approach. Don't say, I don't think it's related, don't think, If you don't know what to do, if you escalated, if someone suggests you some solutions, check it, follow it up, and maybe it will lead to the resolution, or at least to set things in motion. Have a sense of ownership and initiative. So another story for you guys. I had an incident, I checked my side of things, 2 a.m., I noticed the issue is on the DB side. I called the DBA, hi, sorry to wake you up, we have an incident on X, the issue is it can't reach Y. AKA, I was very precise, very short, because he just woke up, I didn't want to overload him with details, I told him exactly what he needs to know. He's like, okay, I'll check it. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I hear nothing from him, I don't know, maybe he got back to sleep. I have no idea. I can say, but he's a grown-up. I mean, we are all grown-ups, right? Wrong. So we need to check statuses. Because you are on call, and even if you escalated an issue, you are still responsible for that incident. So you need to be an end-to-end handler, and if you escalated to someone, check statuses. Send them a message in Slack, hey, how are things? Are you checking? Yes, no. Did you find the root cause? Yes, no. So don't overload and don't bombard them with questions, but make sure that they are still handling it, because you want to make sure it is being handled and not left out. Good communicator. So we have to be good communicators when we have incidents. We need to explain the issue for others helping out for escalation purposes. We need to explain the issue to customer engineers that needs to communicate it to clients, right? So communication is very, very important. But again, not everyone is good with communication. I like to explain and be as detailed as possible, but you know the people in Slack that whenever you ask for help, they say fixed, check now, and that's it. And then you're like, what did you do? What did you do? I want to know what did you do. And no, fix, check now, that's it. So there are a lot of people like that. So not everyone is good with communication or think it is important, but there's something to do about it as well. So communication guidelines can be established, AKA there could be a process defined to explain what channels should be used, what content is expected in those channels, and how communication should be documented. And that way, even if someone is not good with communication, it doesn't matter. They just follow the process, and that way they know exactly what needs to be communicated. Lead without authority. This is something that is more relevant for when you have 2 or more people involved in an incident. So if you are nice and you are confident and you make people feel at ease, and you also project and everything is okay facade, then people will listen to you and follow your lead. And what do you do about it? How can you train this? Manage meetings at work, sync meetings, daily meetings, demos, etc. If you manage meetings at work, it will help you see where are your weaknesses in leading the meetings, why are people not listening to you, etc. And then during real time. It will help you also when you manage incidents. And last but not least, I would say the most important character should have, not only to manage incidents, but important in life, important in being a good engineer, important in everything, is to care. If you don't care, you can't do anything that I just shared until now, and the things that I'm going to share later, which is the proactive approach. I mean, if you want to be proactive, you have to care. So you have to care in order to do anything, and in order to do that, get more involved and ask the questions to find your motivation. And if you still haven't found it, maybe you need to find another place to work for. So let's get back to our agenda. Oh, I have a lot of time. Okay, that's good. I hope that I didn't speak too quickly. I have this habit. I'm sorry. So we covered, yeah, I know. We covered mindset. We covered, I'll try to take it down a notch. We covered the mindset that needed to manage incidents. We covered the incident flow, a structured process that you should do and take in order to have a structured process when you manage incidents. And we covered the on-call traits that you should have as an incident manager and how to improve them. Now, what can we do in our day-to-day and after an incident took place in order to come prepared for incidents? And why do we need to come prepared for incidents? Because you remember the Fugees, ready or not, here they come, you can't hide. Exactly that. It doesn't really matter if you are ready or not. PagerDuty, Ops Genie, you're up here, we'll find you. So you better come prepared for incidents. So what can we do? After an incident took place, how can we come prepared for the next one? First of all, have on-call shift handoffs. I'm not sure if this is something that everyone uses. I suggested it in my previous company, and then we followed it up, and it really helped for the ongoing incident management. It means that whenever you are on call, sometimes the shift is entire week, sometimes it's a day, it doesn't matter. At the end of every day, write a summary in Slack of the things that happened in your shift. AKA, I suppressed a false positive alert. I had a recurring issue. Alert X is waiting for dev to check it out. So write your shift summary so your team members will benefit from it on their on-call shifts, and also for audit purposes. Maybe 6 months after an incident took place, I need to search, or I remember someone said something about it in the shift summary. I can search it in Slack and find it. So it's good for audit, but also for your team members' success to help them in their on-call shifts as well. Post-mortem notes. As I said, if you need to have a post-mortem, write down the notes as soon as possible. It will help with having a more efficient incident management process. And also, even if you don't have a post-mortem meeting, do a mental check with yourself. Do a retrospective with yourself. I'm sure you will, if you think things through and you think about how you handle things, you might have some insights about yourself and things that you can improve about yourself. New tasks. Think about anything that could help you prevent the next incident and stabilize the environment. Because again, log rotate is one example, but maybe there are other things that you could think of that could help prevent the next incident from happening. Modify alerts. Fix any false positive alerts, any things that needs to be tweaked. Please don't wait for the next on-call to do it, because they will wait for the next on-call to do it, and they will wait for the next on-call to do it, and then it will never happen. So please fix false positive alerts. It will help everyone. And also, there's the story of the kid that cried wolf, wolf. If we have too many false positives, we will be indifferent when something will actually happen. So try to avoid false positives as much as possible. Incident runbooks. If you have runbooks, make sure that they are up to date. If you have no runbooks, then write down some, make sure that you have runbooks that will help you in the incidents that require a judgment and require more complex attention. And maybe there are things that are not complex. Maybe you have like X, Y, Z that you need to do, that you can do, and it's always repetitive. Like, in order to clean disk space, I always check, remove stuff from logs. I always do this, I always do that. So these kind of things could be candidates for self-remediation. You can automate it, fix these issues before they become issues, and then prevent the next incident from happening. And last but not least, if you handled an issue, great, share the knowledge more in depth than in the on-call handoff, because in the handoff summary, it's just a summary, just like a paragraph. But here, you should share the knowledge more in depth for your people to learn learn from your line of thought, learn the system flows. It will, again, help everyone. And what can we do in our day-to-day, regular day-to-day, when we are just at work, in order to come prepared for incidents? So the same on-call shift handoffs that I mentioned, here it's about reading the handoffs of your team members. So not only writing them yourself when you are on call, but also read the handoffs from your team members. And why is that? Because production runs 24/7, not only when you are on call. So in order to really know what's going on when you are not on call, this will really help you understand what's going on, what are the pain points that production currently suffer, etc. So it will be very good way to bring yourself up to speed with what's going on in production. Plus, you could read it, and then it will help you pitch in and help make things better. Like, hey, I saw you wrote about this. I encountered this in my previous job, or I have like a solution of what to do with it. You could help with even preventing other things that people didn't think about. And since you see things from the outside, it will really help in a lot of scenarios. Escalation point of contacts. So the thing here is that you know the needed pieces of information related to your realm. My realm is infrastructure. I'm sure the realm of most of you is development for some services. So the thing here is that you should know other realms as well and have the full picture to know what and who do you need to escalate to. So let's say there's an issue with X. I checked my side, infrastructure, everything looks great, and I check the logs, I see that it is an application error, and if in the middle of the night I don't know who is the development team or a specific person that usually handles these issues, then in 2 a.m. I need to call my team member, to call my team leader and ask, hey, who's managing this? And basically interrupt the night just to ask that. So if you know upfront who manages services on dev side and all the people that you usually need to escalate to, it will help you shorten the debugging, shorten the downtime that the incident has, and also prevent interrupting your team members' sleep and your team leader's sleep. So identifying services escalation points on a day-to-day basis and not only ad hoc when an incident takes place will save time and, of course, also money on incident management, and it will be awesome to do. Understanding system architecture. So if we know exactly the ins and outs of all the things that we cover in our day-to-day in the systems that we manage, then it will help us know what's prone to fail and have a go to fix it. So we need to learn anything about the weaker areas of the system, any vulnerabilities, any sensitive or blast radius scopes. That way, if something happens, we usually would know what to do about it. And learn application flows. So understand system architecture is the ins and outs of a specific system, and learn application flows is between systems and how they communicate between each other. So if we know the application flows, it will help with troubleshooting, because I know what needs to be checked and in which order, and it will contribute to the methodical debugging. And it will also help you incorporate the business mindset, because that way you can understand, if you know the application flows, you know, I need escalation, yes, no, is this considered even an incident, yes, no, etc. So learning the application flows will really help you doing the tough times when you have an incident. Team members' tasks. So it is very easy for me to focus only on my tasks, and that's it. But again, production changes not only through my changes, but also through other people's in my team, other changes as well. So get involved and be aware of latest changes that could potentially rock the boat, and learn how their tasks affect production, if any. And if we said if any, aka their tasks could or could not affect production, deployments or changes in production could definitely affect production. So these are the things that you must know. So ask about the change and its possible impact, because OpsGenie or PagerDuty doesn't care if you didn't do the change yourself. It will call you anyway if you are on call. So better know what's going on and be prepared for it. And last but not least, be a go-to person. If you build it, they will come. So if you are a go-to person, people will come to you to consult on things, to advise, to tell you, hey, I did this, I did that. So if you are a go-to person, you will get push notifications, and it will decrease your need to go and fetch the updates on yourself, by yourself, because people will come to you and update you on things. So that's basically it. So in order to navigate the chaos and have a holistic approach towards incident management, incorporate business mindset in everything that you do at work, and always ask why and understand the impact. Make the process structured, have your qualities in check, and be proactive. And that way, you will come prepared to any incident that will cross your way and prevent the next incident from happening. And remember, less incidents means less downtime, means business success, which is also your success, plus you get to preserve much needed hours of sleep. Thank you very much. Thank you.